Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Cambridge Bangladesh Studies tutorial by Tasneem Pasha, which is completely based on the new syllabus from 2025 until 2027.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম and welcome back to my channel. তো আজকে থেকে আমরা দেখব topic 3 of paper 2, which is the last topic of theme 1. So this is Bangladesh Studies, the glimpse of the syllabus, which we have already seen in our last classes, and this is the overall topics that we have to study for paper 2. So here you can see topic 3 is natural resources, which is the last topic of theme 1. So once we complete this topic 3, that means we are ready for theme 1 question. So theme 1 question will be coming under set 1, where we will get a 25 marks questions, combination of topic 1, 2 and 3. So topic 3 has 4 different chapters: forest, fish, water and energy, and we will try to complete these 4 chapters under 4 different classes. So our today's class will be based on topic 3.1, which is forest. So to begin with, we need to know what is the meaning of natural resources, because our topic 3 is based on natural resources. So what is natural resources? Everything that we are getting from the nature without having any part or without having any kind of a contribution of the human, that is known as natural resource. So natural resources are mainly the resources which we get from the nature without being man-made. And there are 2 types of natural resources. One is renewable and the other is non-renewable. And the example of natural resource mainly is sunlight, forest, water, soil, natural gas. So everything that we are getting from the nature, those are known as natural resources. So there are 2 types of natural resource. One is renewable and the other one is non-renewable. So renewables are the ones which we can keep on reusing it. We can renew them and we can keep on reusing them even after being used once. So example, sunlight, river, ocean, water, these are something which we can keep on reusing them. Then talking about the non-renewable resources, these are mainly the resources which we cannot reuse or which we cannot renew after being using. So they are being lost forever after being used once. And these are example: forest, mineral, coal, gas and oil. So how is forest non-renewable? For example, the trees which we have in a forest, if we cut down all the trees from that forest, we cannot reuse that particular tree or the same tree again. We cannot replant the same tree again if we are cutting down it completely. So that's the reason why forest is known as a non-renewable resource. So now, as we have non-renewable resource, and we know that this non-renewable resource will be lost forever after being used once. So in that case, we have to save this non-renewable resource, because this non-renewable resource are not only for us or not only for the present generation, these are also for the future generation. So we need to do something so that we can keep them alive, or we need to do something so that the next generation who are coming after us, they can also enjoy these resources. And that is where we have to implement sustainable development. So what is sustainable development? It means to sustain something so that people can use it in the long run as well. So sustainable development means to make the use of resources, mainly the non-renewable, in a way to sustain and so that both the present and the future generation may use them without any compromise. For example, forest. Once we cut down all the trees in a forest, we have cut down all the trees which were there in a forest, then the land, now what happened, the forest is empty, there is no tree on that forest. So what we can do, we can go for reforestation program. That means on the same land we can replant we can go for replanting other different kinds of trees. So that is what is over here, reforestation program is, and that is how we can go for sustainable development. If we are cutting down one tree, we can go for replanting again some other kinds of trees which will be applicable for that particular forest. So that is what is being said over here, non-renewable resource under sustainable development. For example, once we using this natural gas in our country for cooking purpose, so now what happened, now we are getting other different sources. Instead of gas, we can use instead of gas, now what else we can use? We can use this solar panel. Okay, now we can use other different kinds of like instead of natural gas we can use coal, we can use oil, though those are also non-renewable resources, but we are using in a way so that we as well as the future generation can use them. So so this non-renewable resources mainly needs to be used in a way so that we can sustain them, and this sustained words only is possible when we are talking about sustainable development, that is using the best alternative method or using the resources in a way which will bring benefit to both the present and the future generations, or to come out any other solution, because to come out with any other solution that will be helping us to overcome the use of the resources, the non-renewable resources. For example, wood furniture. Instead of using the wood furniture, we can use alternatives. So that is what is over here sustainable development mainly talking about. So coming to the main part of the topic of today's class, forest. So these are the key contents that we have to go through according to the syllabus, and the further guidance, in the further guidance it talks about to relate this topic with sustainable development goal number 15, which is life on land. So SDG goal number 15 will help us to get some idea how we can go for sustainable development in case of non-renewable resources. The non-renewable resource, forest itself is a non-renewable resource, and inside the forest we have many other items which are also non-renewable resources, and how can we sustain them, how can we save them? So that is what SDG goal number 15 will give us an idea about. So you don't have to learn the details of SDG goal number 15. What you need to know is we just need to understand what it is telling us to do in case of sustaining the forest. So these are all the things that we have to learn regarding forest, which we have to come to know regarding the forest in order to get a good grade for the forest related questions. So the first is forest and the different types of forest which we have in our country. So we have three different most important and three different types of forest which we have in our country. So one is the tropical evergreen forest, which is also known as hill forest, which is also known as tertiary forest. So tropical evergreen forest, tropical hill forest, tropical tertiary forest, or just hill forest, or just tertiary forest. So these are all the same. Then we have this tropical moist deciduous forest or shal forest. Shal forest is mainly for Bengali, but still we also use it in English. So tropical moist deciduous or shal forest, and then tidal forest, mangrove forest, or Sundar Bon. So these are the three important types of forest which we have in our country. And now we'll look one by one types of forest. So the first forest which we have is the tropical evergreen forest, or the hill forest, or the tertiary forest. So on the screen you can see the map, and the map tells us where we have this kind of forest. So it's mainly in the Sylhet and Chittagong divisions. So the location is northeast and southeast of Bangladesh, Sylhet and Chittagong divisions, areas of tea and jhum cultivated areas. So mainly these are the areas where we are also having tea and jhum cultivations. It also shared the border with India and Myanmar. So, and then if we are asked, if the examiner asks us to know the characteristics of this forest, in that case what can we write? So it might come for a 5 marks or a 6 marks question maximum, the characteristics of evergreen forest. So in that case what you can write, you can write the rich biodiversity and evergreen in nature. Top canopy trees reaches a height of about 45 to 62 meters. So the canopy is about 45 to 62 meters, so that's quite high. Then nearly about 700 species of flowering plants inhabits here. Then reach for tea and jhum cultivations and fountains. So here are many other examples or many other characteristics of which we can find in this area. So the question might come in the way of writing the characteristics or writing the importance of this area. So these are all what you can write for the tertiary forest. Then moving to the next forest is about tropical moist deciduous forest or shale forest. So in the picture you can see the map which shows us where we can find this kind of forest. So according to this map we can find it in the northwest, center and north of Bangladesh, so which is mainly Dhaka, Mymensingh and Rangpur divisions, and apart from that it is also beside the river Jamuna and Meghna river as well. So Jamuna river, and here also we have the characteristics of this tropical or shale forest. So which tropical moist deciduous or the shale forest, the characteristics or the importance of this forest, where you can see is leaf shading in a particular time of the season. So this forest is quite different from the other kinds of forest because the plant or the tree that we have in this forest tell us that this is a shale forest. So you can see the canopy, they are 10 to 20 meter because this forest are quite tall, high, and we don't have that much canopy of this forest or the trees over here. And over here it's like mainly grows tall and provide valuable hardwood, and then like it's a it's the best place for the wild animals like deer, wild boars, monkeys and birds and habitats, and it also provides shelters to many indigenous communities. So this is what we have the characteristics or the importance of this forest. Then the last important forest which we have is the mangrove forest, Sundarban or tidal forest. So on the screen the map shows us the area where we are getting this Sundarban. So it's found in the southwest of Bangladesh, located in Khulna division near to Bay of Bengal and share the border with West Bengal of India. And also we have the characteristics of this forest. The most important characteristics of this forest is the tree, the mangrove tree. And this mangrove tree, they have their roots which are known as neometaphorous roots, which are above the ground or water. So the roots, mainly we know the roots are under the ground, but the roots of these trees are above the ground, so which is known as neometaphorous root, and they're very thin, they're like pencil shaped roots, they're very thin. So apart from this, another important characteristics which we have for this forest is the Royal Bengal tiger. It's a forest which provides shelter to Royal Bengal tiger. And then of course we also have the shrimp cultivation going on in this area just because of the saline water. So this is all the main important characteristics of this forest. And here are some pictures which talks about the canopy, if anyone doesn't have any idea what is canopy. So canopy is mainly this shade, the shade of this, the shade of the the shade of the trees are known as canopy. So depending how long is the shade, depending on that, if the shade is too short then that is like 10 to 20 meters. If the shades are too long then it can be 45 to 60 meters, like the tropical evergreen forest. So Jhum cultivations, Royal Bengal tiger, shale forest, and waterlogged condition, and neometaphorous roots. So on this picture you can see the neometaphorous roots are the ones which are above the ground, as well as they are very thin and pencil shaped roots. Now coming to the importance of forest or value or role of forest. So the examiner might ask you in general regarding the importance of forest in general. In that case you can write the answer in general, why are forests important. So mainly the trees provide us oxygen, and they take some the carbon dioxide, and then like they are providing us different kinds of food, plants, medicine plants. So these are all the importance. But again they might ask you separately the importance of forest by mentioning about the protective as well as productive. So protective is like the protection, the way that the forest is protecting us, and productive is like producing something, the way forest is producing something which is benefit for the economy. So in case of productive, it's like trees, they are providing us supply. So they are providing us supply, they are providing us oxygen, and this oxygen we the humans are taking to breathe. So that is protective. They are providing us enough oxygen so that we can breathe, and they are taking carbon dioxide from us. So they are absorbing the carbon dioxide, and somehow they are helping us or protecting us from the global warming. So that is a protective. And productive is like the kinds of items that they are providing us. So for example, they are providing us wood, and with this wood we can make furniture, with this wood we can use for producing power, so that is wood. Then they're providing, for example, other materials like paper, rubber. So these are something which they are producing, which they are providing us so that we can use them, we can do a living with them. So that is the difference between productive and protective. So depending on the question, what the question is asking you, depending on that you have to write the answer. If the question doesn't ask you anything, no specific thing, in that case you can write in general whatever comes into your mind in the combination of productive and protective. If the question asks you separately, so this is how you have to write the answer. These are written in very simple terms, so I don't think I have to go through each and every single sentence which are here. If you go through, I'm pretty sure you will understand them. So now let's have a look into some past paper. So here you can see two maps, and both the maps are quite similar, and they came in 2 different years. They are not in the same year. They came in 2 different years, and where we can see both the maps shows us the different types of forest, deciduous, evergreen, and mangrove under the key portion. And they are also telling us where the north is. And then for both the map, they're asking us to write about the distribution of the forest. But the first map on the left side is asking us to write the distribution of only about the deciduous forest for 3 marks. So you have to write the distribution of deciduous forest only for 3 marks. Okay, so if I show the deciduous, so these are the deciduous forest according to this map. So these are the deciduous forests according to the map. So you have to give 3 separate points to write the explanation of the distributions of this forest. So you know how to write the distributions, I'm sure. No, you have to put the location, I mean the direction, north, south, east, and west, and you have to put the name of the divisions, and if it's near to by any river, nearby any country, nearby any, or if you have any other kind of cultivations over there, you can put all those informations in this area. Then talking about the next one, the next map which is on the right side, it is asking about to write the distributions of all the 3 types of forest. So you have to write the distributions of all the 3 types of forest for 3 marks. So in this answer, what you will do, in this answer, for the first point, you will just write only about, for example, you can write about Sundarban is in this, Sundarban is located in Khulna division. Finish. Then in the next point, you can write about evergreen forest. Evergreen forest is located in this area, or in the north and the northeast and southeast of northern and northeast and southeast. Finish. Then in the last one, you can write about deciduous forest. Deciduous forest is located in Mymensingh, Dhaka, and Rangpur division. Finish. So you will put 3 different sentences for 3 different forests. That's it. 3 sentences for 3 different forests. You don't have to write much in details. So that is also done. I'm sure you will be able to write the answer. Then moving to the next example of the sample paper. So again, we have a map on the left side where we can see the map talks about forest, energy producing area, and hills. So there are 3 key over here. It talks about the forest, and then it talks about the energy producing area, and then it talks about the hills. So please, when you see the map properly. The keys, follow the key properly. So the forests are the dot one. So the dots, wherever you find the dots, so those are the forests. So we can see only this dot in over here in 3 different areas. So that is in Rangpur, Mymensingh, Dhaka, as well as in Sylhet. So identify the following features shown in figure 1.1, river A. So which river is this? This is Padma River. I'm sure you know, you have already learned the map. So this is Padma River. The types of forest. So which type of forest is being mentioned over here? So the forest which is mentioned over here is deciduous forest. And then the energy source which we can see over here is the natural gas. So this is the last part of our topic 3. So we will be knowing about this natural gas location a bit later. I mean, a lot of 4th class when we do topic 3.4. And then the the area of hills, so area of the hills we already know by that time, that is Chittagong hill tracts. Now moving to the next question, using examples explain how forests are important to the wildlife in Bangladesh. So you have to put examples how the forest is important. So examples over here means, like for example, energy. It's providing, for example, providing oxygen. Oxygen is an example. Then if you talk about example, then for example, rainfall. So from the rainfall we are getting water, so water is also an example which is providing the livelihood to the wildlife over there. So this is how you have to write the importance of forest, by providing example. Okay, so this importance over here, you can, it doesn't tell us anything about the protective or the productive, it just tells us in general about the importance of forest. You can write in general about the importance of forest. Now on the screen we can see 4 separate boxes. So these 4 separate boxes contains the example of the past paper. So this color picture is aligned to this box. So the questions from this box is based on the picture, and then this is a separate question. Well, this is a separate set of question. So the first one, which we can see a color picture, this is a color picture where a separate insert paper was being given in this year. So in this year a separate insert paper was given. So from that insert paper, the question which we can see on the screen, or on the question paper, they have asked to write the answer based on the photograph which was being given on the insert paper. So the insert paper might be given or may not be given, so it depends on the question. It depends on the people, it depends on the person who is making the question. So if the person finds that he's gonna input that question or the picture within the question paper itself, then a separate insert paper may not be given. But if he finds that no, he will be giving a separate insert paper, a separate insert paper where he will be putting 1 or 2 photographs, so that can also be done. So while reading the question, you have to be very careful that whether the question is asking you to take the picture or the photograph from the insert, or it is within the question paper. So over here you can see, if we go through the question, it is already mentioning the word insert. So if it's mentioning the word insert, it means a separate question paper has been attached to this regular question paper too. So what we see over here, the question is study photograph A. So if you see the picture, below the picture it will be mentioned photograph A for question number 2. So it is already mentioned in the insert, below the picture or the photograph, regarding the which part of the question will this be needed for. So study photograph A insert, which shows a mangrove forest in Bangladesh. Describe the trees shown in photograph A. So we already know the characteristics of mangrove forest. What we can see from the picture, we have to just write the answer. What we can see from the picture is like waterlogged condition. We can see the roots are uprooted, the roots are above the ground. There are pneumatophoros root. We can see the roots, the size of the roots are very thin, like pencil shape. Then why it is important to conserve the mangrove forest? So you have to write the importance of mangrove forest. What are the things that we are getting from the mangrove forest? The importance of the mangrove forest, we have to just put over the answer over here, and you will get this answer in one of the previous slides where we have shown about the location of the mangrove forest. Then the next question which we can see on the left side is about why are mangrove forests found in the coastal area. So why do you think we find the mangrove forest only in the coastal areas? It's because of the saline water, because the mangrove trees which we have, these mangrove trees, they survive on the saline water. So that is the main reason why we are getting this the Sundarban area or the mangrove forest in the coastal region. Then coming to the next box, which is the last box on the right side. So this is also about Sundarban or mangrove forest, and this set of question has been taken from the very old past paper. It's before 2012. So before 2012, all the paper 2 which we had, there were no spaces provided. They were just the separate answer script were being provided to the students. So the question, we had nothing to write within the question itself. So this photograph B, or this question says, from this question, what is the examiner is asking you to write the name and describe the type of forest shown in photograph A. So to write the name, the name of the forest is Sundarban. Why do we know? How do we know that this is Sundarban or this is a mangrove forest? Just because we are aware about the roots of the Sundarban or the mangrove forest, or sorry, the mangrove trees, that the roots are uprooted, they are above the ground, and they are thin. So we have to write the name of the forest, that is one mark, and one description. So one description can be the roots are very thin. Where in Bangladesh can this type of forest be found? So this Sundarban forest is only located in southwest of Bangladesh. So you can either write southwest, or you can write the southern part of Khulna division, or near to the Bay of Bengal, or you can also write in the coastal region. Then state two possible threats to this type of forest. So what could be the possible threat? The possible threat could be cyclone. Whenever the cyclone hits this forest, so there is a certain portion of the area or a certain portion of the forest is being inundated or being submerged. That is one. And the other one is exploitation by the humans. They might cut down the trees for the sake of wood fuel, or for the sake of for selling the wood to make some money. So that is also another threat that this kind of forest may also go through. So any other answer, you are most welcome. Any other answer related to the question where the examiner feel that yeah, this answer is also correct, you can also come out of the box and write that answer. If the answer is related to what the question is asking, you will be getting the full mark. Then another examples of the past paper question. So here on the left side we can see a Bangladesh map given to us, and on this map we can see two items are being mentioned. So the key is about the Sundarban mangrove forest and coal mining areas. So coal mining areas is not related to this topic 3.1. We'll be skipping that part, and we will only focus on the Sundarban mangrove forest. So use figure 3.1 to help you describe the location of Sundarban mangrove forest. This is just one mark, so you can put any location. You can either put the direction, you can put the name of the area, you can put nearby Bay of Bengal, you can put any information over here. Now comes the next question. Describe the main physical characteristics of the Sundarban. So over here the key part of the question is the physical characteristics. So physical characteristics over here means the one which we can see as well as we can also touch. So that is the physical characteristics. So what kind of physical characteristics we can put over here? We can put regarding we can put number one is about the survival of the Royal Bengal tiger. That is a physical characteristics. The other physical characteristics which we can talk over here is about the shape of the tree. That means the trees are pneumatophorous, so the roots are above the ground. Then we can talk about the trees are pencil, are very thin. The roots of the pencil, the roots of the trees are very thin. They are pencil like shaped. So that is another point which we can include over here. And the other point is a partially physical characteristic, that is shrimp cultivation. So shrimp cultivation also takes place in this Sundarban area because of the high salinity. Because of the high saline water, the shrimp cultivation also takes place. So shrimp cultivation is the physical characteristics, and saline water is the natural characteristics. Then moving to the next part of the next questions on the screen. So here we can see we are being given over here one small article which is quite similar to the case study. So this article is telling about the reason why the coal mining factories or the coal power stations should not be established in the Sundarban regions. Okay, so if you go through this article, you will find some information like why is the coal power station would be harmful in the Sundarban area, and then some question will be attached to this in the further question sector. So study figure 3.2, a newspaper article about a threat to the Sundarban mangrove forest. UN tells Bangladesh to halt mangrove threatening coal power station, 19 October 2016. So what we have in this article, the UN has made an urgent call to stop the construction of a coal power station in Bangladesh. The power station could damage the Sundarban mangrove forest where up to 450 Bengal tigers live. So that is one of the reasons why the government should stop having this coal power station. So it is providing shelter to around 450 Bengal tigers. The next paragraph says the Rampal coal power station, which is 65 km north the Sundarbans, could cause water and air pollution to the mangrove forest. So another reason for not having this coal power station is the pollution, water and air pollution. Ships carrying coal through the mangrove reserve could cause damage which would threaten the breeding grounds of the endangered Ganges River dolphin. So again, the third problem which we can see is over here is about the problem that could bring to the Ganges River dolphins by the ships which are bringing by the ships which are carrying the coal. They are spilling the oil, and as a result what happened, it is creating problem for the breeding grounds for the dolphins. So according to the articles, which two species are under threat? So according to the articles, there are over here two species are being mentioned which are under threat. One is the Bengal tigers and the other one is the Ganges River dolphins. Then explain how the development of power station can cause pollution. So this is not a part of this topic 3.1, but this is a part of topic 3.4 where we will be studying about the coal. We will be talking about the coal as well as about the pollution that are related or attached to the coal mining sector. So but this is how your question will be coming, because I have put this one just to let you know. This is how basically when we talk about theme 1 set will be coming from theme 1, which is a blending of topic 1, 2 and 3. So over here you can see we are talking about topic 3.1, but they are also bringing the topic of topic 3.4 over here as well. So this is how the blending of the questions basically means. So moving to the next question, which is explain how climate change and agriculture are causing serious threats to the Sundarban mangrove forest. So as we are having this climate change as well as we are having the agricultural changes as well. So how do you think these two changes, the climate change as well as the agricultural change, are causing threat to the Sundarban mangrove forest? So you have to give 4 points to write this answer. 2 point for climate change and 2 point for agriculture. So if I give you an example, if I talk about the climate change, so over here I can say that the climate change is creating problem for the Sundarban. And how is that problem being created? So over here what is happening, if you're having heavy, if the temperature is increasing, then what happens, there could be frequent cyclone may occur which might inundate the area. So that is one of the problem that Sundarban will be having. And apart from that, sometimes if there is a high temperature, so there may not be any rainfall. And no rainfall means what? No rainfall means the plants will be starving and they might die. So these are the examples. This is how you have to write about the problem that this climate change might bring to the Sundarban. So not only Sundarban, they might even ask you about other forests as well. Instead of Sundarban, they might ask you to write about evergreen forest. They might ask you to write about deciduous forest as well. Then agriculture. So there is a change in the pattern of agriculture, and because of the change in the pattern of agriculture, the Sundarban is also coming to a threat. And what kind of change in the agriculture can be bringing a threat to the Sundarban? For example, if we say that a large portion of the area is being taken for the shrimp cultivations, and the locals over here who live over there, they are cutting down the trees so that they can create a huge platform for the shrimp cultivation. So again, what is happening? Because of this agriculture, because of this shrimp cultivation, the trees are being cutting off, and then as a result we are having this deforestation. So that is one of the examples how we can write regarding the agriculture causing a damage to the Sundarban area. Again, we can also write, if we are talking about agriculture, if you are removing the plants from the system, then what happens? This agriculture is also removing the shelter for Royal Bengal tigers as well. And as a result, what happens? There might be a time when all the Royal Bengal tigers may be exploited or may be extinguished from that area. So this is how we have to write the answer. Now moving to the next part of this topic, which is about deforestation. So what is deforestation? Deforestation means loss of trees or forests due to man-made or natural calamities. So deforestation means when the trees are being damaged. So, and what kind of damage? The trees could be cut off. It could be done by the human, or the trees could be uprooted, which could be done by the natural calamities. So you might be asked the reason behind the deforestation. Why do you think deforestation happens, or what are the reasons behind the causes of deforestation? So if the question is coming in general without asking you specific terms or the specific reason, you can write the answer in general. But if the examiner is asking you specifically the reason behind the deforestation, either man-made or natural calamities, so you have to show accordingly the reason of the deforestation. So on the screen you can see I have divided the box into two part, man-made and natural calamities. So man-made is basically when we are cutting down the trees, and this cutting down of the trees could be because of wood furniture, it could be because of wood fuel, it could be because of making that area empty so that we can make shelter, we can make industries. That these are all the main reasons. And on the other hand, the natural calamities could be like we're having frequent cyclone, and as a result the area is being inundated. We are having or it could be a strong wind, which a strong wind where the tree couldn't cope up with that strong wind, and as a result the tree was being uprooted. So these are the reasons why the natural calamities causing the deforestation. Earthquake can also be one of the natural calamities. Whenever the earthquake is happening, the trees are not able being to cope up, and as a result they are being they get uprooted. So as a result deforestation takes place. So man-made and natural calamities can both be a reason. Sometimes due to high temperature, automatically extreme high temperature may also cause a forest fire. Forest fire can be done by the natural ways as well as through the man-made. If we are going into a forest and there is a high temperature, and there we also have these dry leaves and dry branches, if anyone mistakenly just throw you know a matchstick or somehow fires anything, and as a result automatically what happens, within very few minutes the forest fire will begin. So it also depends, and this forest fire can also be a reason behind the deforestation. Then moving to the next part, which is impact or effect of deforestation. So what could be the negative or positive impact of deforestation? So we have a plenty of impact of deforestation, like we will be having less trees, and less trees means less oxygen to breathe. Then we will be having more carbon dioxide, which will be leading to high temperature or the global warming. Then there would be a loss of shelter to the livelihoods to the people who lives in those area, in the forested area, as well as the wildlife, they will be losing their shelter. So these are the negative and the impact, mainly the negative impact of the deforestation. So we don't have any positive impact of deforestation that much. Most of them are the negative impact of the deforestation. Then if deforestation is happening or deforestation will happen, so we cannot 100% we cannot 100% stop the deforestation, but we need to take certain steps so that the deforestation come to some minimization. So in that case, what are the steps that we can do? Suppose we are cutting down trees, and these trees we need to cut down the trees for certain reason, might be for shelter purpose, might be for the wood furniture to fulfill the need of the public. So in that case, what happens, whenever we are cutting down the tree, make sure we are also going for more reforestation program. At the same time, make sure we are also going for afforestation program. Wherever it's possible, we can also go for afforestation program. So these are certain things that we can do. We can use the alternate of the forest items. For example, paper, we don't need for thousand of the things, we don't need the paper anymore. We don't need the paper anymore for many other I mean, like for thousand of activities. So we can use we can go online, we can use soft copy rather than using a paper. So even saving a paper is also kind of saving deforestation. So using the alternate items of the forest products, so that can also be helping us to save us from deforestation. We can also help, we can also, like, explain the people, do campaign, or like somehow promote the people how to live in harmony with the nature as well as with the regular activities, so which can help us to protect us from the deforestation. Then comes the SDG goal number 13. So SDG goal number 13, this mainly talks about what? This mainly talks about the life on land, mainly focusing on the forest, as well as helping us to know how we can overcome the deforestation. So the red color which I have mentioned over here, these are mainly what is SDG goal number 15, just for you to go through, nothing to memorize over here. And the black ink, they are mainly focusing on the steps that we can take based on this SDG goal number 15. So you can go through them, they are written in very simple word. And then we have some example from the past paper which talks about the deforestation part as well as the SDG goal. So over here what we can see on the left side, we can see a bar chart given to us. So if I zoom this one, we can see a figure 5 shows the land area covered by forest and the total forest lost in 3 countries between 2001 and 2012. So 3 countries are being given on the x-axis. We can see Myanmar, Pakistan and Bangladesh. On the left y-axis, and on the left y-axis it's given land area covered by forest in percentage. So percentage is the unit over here. And on the right y-axis we can see total forest lost between 2001 and 2012 in percentage as well. So land area covered by forest, the key tells us the land area covered by forest are the one which are being shaded. So the shaded ones are the one land area covered by forest, and the diagonal lines are the one which talks about the total forest loss between 2001 and 2012. So now what is the question? The question is saying complete figure 5 using following figures. So land area covered by forest, Myanmar 68%. So Myanmar land area covered is not done, and land area covered 68%. This information we have to use the y-axis to complete this diagram. So if I use the shade, so 60, 62, 64, 66, 68. It's somewhere here. It's somewhere here. And if we just draw the line here, and then if we shade here, so our answer is done. So this is how we have to complete the answer for Myanmar with pencil. Then on the other one which is being asking us is the total forest loss between 2001 and 2012 for Bangladesh 2%, and for this one we have to use the right y-axis. So Bangladesh is given, this is the total forest loss, and that is 2%. Is it 2%? Yes, 2%. So I'll use this one again, and I'll draw the line here to 2% and then finish with the diagonal one. So that's all for the pencil, and we get the full mark. So now coming to the next question, why is deforestation taking place in Bangladesh? So the causes of deforestation, and this is a 4-mark question, so I'm sure you will be able to write this answer now. Then moving to the right side, what we have, describe the challenges created by deforestation for farming, for climate and for urban areas. So whenever a deforestation is taking place, what are the problems that we face in case of farming? So there are no trees, and what happens for farming? There are no trees, and what happens for climate? There are no trees, and what happens in the urban areas? So you have to talk about the challenges created. So challenges over here means the problem or the issue, the problem or the issue that deforestation is creating for farming, for climate and for urban area, and you have to give 2 points for each of the factors. So what are the things that we can write over here? Like for farming, if there is a deforestation, then what happens for farming? In that case, we will not be having enough no trees. So you can say no trees, that means absorption, the water absorption power for the soil will reduce. This might cause flooding. So this might cause enough flooding which will be washing away the crops, during the natural calamities. So this is one of the problems regarding the farming. Then in case of climate, what happens? No deforestation means less number of trees to provide oxygen and to absorb carbon dioxide, which increases the temperature. Then one of the examples what we can write for urban area, if there is no trees, then what happens? The temperature rises, and the temperature rises in the urban area, which actually also decreases the number of rainfall in the urban area. So this is how you have to write the answer. And then going to the next part of this question is describe the impact of deforestation on ecosystem. On ecosystem means actually everything, entire thing, on everything. If there is a deforestation, what happens to the ecosystem? What happens to the people who lives in the forest area, what happens to the wildlife who lives in the in the forest area, what happened to all these species who are living in the forest area, what happens to the balance of the ecological balance, what happened with the ecological balance if you're having a deforestation. So here is a mark scheme given to you, and from this mark scheme you can also write the answer. From this mark scheme you can also take the answer that what you can write over here, but the mark scheme is just for an idea that what are the points that we can use over here for writing the answer. So I'm not going much into the details for this answer. Then what, coming to the next part, and this is the last slide for this topic 3.1. So study two statements below. A. Deforestation is unavoidable with the increasing population of Bangladesh. So this is something like a statement A is saying that deforestation is something which is like unavoidable, which we cannot avoid, which we cannot even like say no, there won't be any deforestation, we will be stopping deforestation, nothing like that. Just because of the population of the Bangladesh is increasing. As the population of Bangladesh is increasing, we anyway need to go for deforestation. And statement B is saying that it is necessary to maintain the forest of Bangladesh to prevent environmental problems. So statement A is asking about the is asking about like deforestation is like we cannot stop deforestation, so there is no solution of deforestation because the population is increasing and deforestation will take place. So do you agree with this statement? If you agree with this statement, then you have to write the reason why that we have to go for deforestation, why we need to cut down the trees. You have to support that one. And if you support statement B, then you have to say that why is it important to stop deforestation, why do we need to stop deforestation, why do we need to save our plants, and why do we need to save our forests, why do we need to save our plants and trees. That is what you have to write the answer. So if you support both this statement, then as I told you earlier in the last class, you can divide the box into two parts. In one side you can write A and the other side write B and give the answers accordingly. So dividing the box, in one side you are writing A, on the other side you are writing B, and then you are giving the points according to your own marking scheme. Moving to the next part, study figure 5, which shows changes to the area covered by forest in Bangladesh between 1990 and 2005. So area covered by forest, this is a table given to you, and the unit over here is 1000 as hectares. So you can see 1000, 3 zeros and s, thousands hectares. So this is the unit you have to keep in mind. How many hectares of forest were lost between 2000 and 2005? So between 2000 and 2005, how many forests were being lost? So what you have to say over here, what you can do over here is just minus 2000, the amount of 2000 minus the amount of 2005. So you will just minus the amount of 2000, which is 884 minus 871, and whatever result you are getting, you have to write that result and put the unit. The unit is 1000 hectares. You have to write the unit. So while writing the answer, you have to show the calculation, like 884 minus 871 equals to how much you are getting, 1000 hectares. So that is how you have to write the answer. Then the next question is, explain why Bangladesh is losing its forest, the reason behind deforestation. So instead of asking you to write about the deforestation, it's asking you in a different way the reason behind losing the forest. Then describe the problem that can cause by deforestation. So what are the problems we will be facing because of deforestation, the impacts or the effects of deforestation. Then number D is giving you a statement question. So in 1981, 17.5% of Bangladesh was forested but had decreased to 13.5% in 1996. That is 2001 Statistical Yearbook of Bangladesh. So why are forest areas decreasing? So why are we having deforestation once again? Choose some measures taken to slow down the decrease in forested land. Discuss how effective you think they have been. So you have to write about the measures that we have taken to reduce deforestation or to stop deforestation or to prevent deforestation. So see, the question may not be coming in a straightforward wording. They may not ask you directly, they might ask you in a different wording. The wording might also change, but it is up to you whether you are understanding the language or not. If you do not understand the language, you may not be able to score the mark, though the question is very simple and the answer is very easy to write. Moving to the next side of the screen, which is on the right side, again we can see one over here we can see one statement question is being given to us with two statements. Statement A, it is essential that Bangladesh manages its forest to prevent further reduction in the area cover. So we have to manage our forested area, we have to manage our forest so that we can prevent any other further devastation. So it is supporting the importance of forest. Then B, Bangladesh must use all of its land including the forest, and B is talking about using all the land including the forest, so that can also be supporting deforestation. And you have to put the reason why we have to reduce, we have to remove the forest. So B is talking about to remove the forest and the reason behind removing the forest, and A is talking about the importance of forest. So if you choose A, then you have to write about the importance of forest. If you choose B, then you have to write not the importance of forest, you have to write about the importance of the land. Like on that land we can build more shelter for the growing population, we on that land we can build more schools and hospitals so that we can provide the services to the growing population. On that land we can build more industries so that we can we can promote, or we can produce more industrial items which will be fulfilling the need of the growing population. So this is how you have to write the answer if you are supporting statement B, which is talking about the need of the land rather than having a forest. And the last part is talking about sustainable development. So what is meant by sustainable development? The definition is given at the beginning of the topics, at the beginning of the slide, of the video. So the definition of sustainable development, it's a 2-mark question. So over here you only providing the definition is not enough, you also have to give example, and you also have to say that there are 2 types of sustainable, so you have to give an example regarding the sustainable development. So what you have to do, you have to provide the definition as well as give an example of the sustainable development, which will help you to get full 2 out of 2 mark. Then talking about the next question, Roman 2, explain how the sustainable development of natural resources such as forest can be achieved. So how can we go for the natural, we can go for the SDG of this forest, that you have to write over here. And this is a 3-mark question, so you have to give 3 points at how we can save the forest in a sustainable way, that is using the alternative of the forest, or using going for afforestation and reforestation program. So you have, in this way you have to give 3 reasons which are also mentioned in the video. So that's all for today's class, and from the next class, in the next class, we will be finishing topic 3.2, which is fish. So if you have any question regarding today's class, which is topic 3.1 forest or forest related, any question, please mention me in the comment section, or you can also WhatsApp me in your convenient time. So see you in the next class. Till then, stay happy, stay tuned. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.